Join Tiny Tales Paradise for The Tale of Tilly the Table, a moving bedtime story for kids. This educational kids story teach about love and kindness through colorful animations and a warm narration. Perfect for bedtime or classroom learning. Subscribe for weekly fairy tales and moral stories. The Tale of Tilly the Table. Chapter 1. A tree named Tilly in the heart of whispering woods, where sunlight danced through leaves and squirrels played tag on branches, stood a sturdy oak tree named Tilly. Tilly wasn't just any tree. She was tall, with a thick trunk that felt like a warm hug and leaves that rustled like giggles in the breeze. She'd been growing for decades, soaking up rain, basking in sunshine, and listening to the stories of birds, bugs, and breezes. Tilly loved her life in the forest. She sheltered owl families, gave shade to picnicking ants, and swayed to the music of wind. "I'm the luckiest tree in Whispering Woods," she'd say, her branches creaking happily. But deep down, Tilly wondered if there was more to life than standing still. What else could I be, she thought, watching a woodpecker tap her bark. Maybe something useful, something loved. One crisp autumn morning, a man named Amos arrived in the forest. Amos was a woodworker with kind eyes, a bushy beard, and hands that could turn wood into wonders. He carried an axe and a satchel, humming a tune as he searched for the perfect tree. When he saw Tilly, he stopped and smiled. "You're a beauty," he said, patting her trunk, strong, steady, and full of stories. "You'd make a fine table." Tilly's leaves quivered with excitement. A table. She didn't know what that was, but it sounded important. Amos worked gently, thanking Tilly as he carefully cut her down. "You're gonna bring joy to a family," he promised. Tilly felt a tingle in her sap as she fell, ready for her next adventure. At Amos's workshop, Tilly's transformation began. Amos sawed her trunk into planks, sanded them smooth, and shaped them with care. "You're going to be the heart of a home," he said, polishing her wood until it glowed like honey. He carved 4 sturdy legs, attached them with pegs, and gave her a final shine. By the end, Tilly was a beautiful dining table, solid, warm, and ready to serve. "I'm Tilly the Table," she thought, her grain gleaming. "I wonder what stories I'll hold now." Chapter 2. Tilly's New Home. Amos delivered Tilly to a cozy cottage in Meadowville, home to the Harper family, Papa Henry, Mama Clara, and their 6-year-old son, Sammy. The cottage was filled with laughter, the smell of fresh bread, and a bit of chaos, mostly thanks to Sammy, a whirlwind of a boy with messy hair, scraped knees, and a talent for mischief. Sammy was naughty, not mean, just creative in the worst ways. He'd tie spoons to the cat's tail, draw mustaches on Mama's mirrors, and once tried to fly by jumping off the roof with a bedsheet. "Sammy Harper, you'll be the end of me," Papa Henry would say, half laughing, half sighing. Mama Clara would shake her head, saying, "He's got too much energy for one boy." When Tilly arrived, the Harpers gathered around her in awe. "She's perfect," Mama Clara said, running her hand over Tilly's smooth surface. Papa Henry nodded. "This table's gonna see us through years of meals and memories." Sammy, however, had other ideas. "It's a fort," he shouted, diving under Tilly with a blanket, or a pirate ship arg. He banged his toy sword on her legs, leaving tiny dents. Tilly winced as much as a table can wince. "Ouch, kiddo." Easy, she thought, but she was thrilled to be part of this lively home. Tilly quickly became the center of the Harper's world, Breakfasts were a flurry of pancakes and syrup, with Sammy spilling juice and giggling. Dinners were warm with roast chicken and stories Papa Henry's tales of fishing, Mama Clara's dreams of a flower shop, and Sammy's wild ideas, like building a rocket to the moon. Tilly soaked it all up, her wood holding the warmth of their laughter. But Sammy's mischief tested her. He'd carve his initials with a fork, leaving SH scratched on her edge. He'd climb on her to reach cookies, wobbling her legs. Once, he painted her with jam, turning her into a sticky mess. Sammy, Mama Clara scolded, scrubbing Tilly clean. This table deserves respect. Sorry, Mama, Sammy mumbled, but his grin said he'd do it again. Tilly didn't mind too much. She liked Sammy's spirit, even if it left her a bit battered. This kid's a handful, she thought, but he's got a big heart. Chapter 3. Happy and Sad Memories. Over the years, Tilly collected memories like rings in her wood. The happy ones glowed brightest. There were birthday parties with cakes and candles. Sammy's 7th, when he blew out the candles so hard he splattered icing on Tilly's surface. There were cozy winter evenings, with the Harpers playing cards and sipping cocoa, their laughter warming Tilly's grain. Once, Papa Henry proposed a toast at Christmas, clinking glasses over Tilly, to family, to love, and to this fine table that holds us together. But there were sad moments, too. One rainy night, Mama Clara sat at Tilly, her eyes red from crying. Her flower shop dream had stalled. No one wanted to buy her roses. Papa Henry held her hand, whispering, "We'll try again." Clara, Sammy, now 8, climbed onto Tilly and hugged his mom. "I'll sell your flowers, Mama," he promised. Tilly felt their tears soak into her wood, wishing she could hug them back. Another time, Papa Henry sat alone at Tilly, reading a letter. His face was heavy. His old friend had moved far away. Sammy, sensing the quiet, slid a drawing onto Tilly, a picture of Papa and his friend fishing. "You'll see him again, Papa," Sammy said softly. Tilly held that drawing close, proud of Sammy's kindness beneath his naughtiness. Sammy's mischief, though, never stopped. He'd balance spoons on Tilly's edge, knocking them off with a crash. He'd test her strength by jumping on her, making her legs creak. One day, at 9, he decided Tilly was a skateboard ramp. He slid a plank across her, zoomed his toy car, and crack one of Tilly's legs buckled, splitting her top. The car crashed. Sammy tumbled, and the kitchen went silent. "Sammy Harper," Papa Henry roared, rushing in. "What have you done?" Sammy's eyes widened, his usual grin gone. I didn't mean to." "Papa," Mama Clara gasped, touching Tilly's cracked surface. "This table's our heart. Sammy, you've got to be more careful." Tilly felt wobbly and sad. "Oof, that hurt," she thought. "But I'm still here. Kid." Chapter 4. Papa's Fix. Papa Henry, handy with tools, decided to fix Tilly. "She's too special to give up on," he said, carrying her to his shed. Sammy trailed behind, head down. "I'm sorry, Papa. I ruined her." Papa knelt, looking Sammy in the eye. "You didn't ruin her, son. Things break, but we fix them. That's life. Want to help?" Sammy nodded, eager to make amends. In the shed, Papa showed him how to sand Tilly's cracks, glue her split top, and reinforce her leg with a new peg. "Wood's forgiving," Papa said, hammering gently. "With care, it's good as new." Sammy tried sanding, his tongue sticking out in focus, though he left a few wobbly patches. After days of work, Tilly was whole again, her surface smooth and her legs sturdy. Papa polished her until she shone. "There," he said, patting her. "Tilly's back. Better than ever." Sammy hugged Tilly's leg. "Sorry, Tilly. I'll be nicer." Tilly's grain warmed. No hard feelings. "Kid, keep growing." Back in the kitchen, Tilly hosted more meals and memories. Sammy, now 10, was still naughty spilling milk, drumming forks, but he was gentler with Tilly, patting her like a friend. "You're tough, Tilly," he'd whisper, and she'd glow inside. Chapter 5. Time turns the page. Years rolled by, and the Harpers changed. Sammy grew into a lanky teen, still mischievous but with a kind heart. He helped Mama Clara start her flower shop, selling roses at the market. He built a birdhouse with Papa Henry, their laughter echoing over Tilly during dinners. Tilly held their joys and sorrows. Sammy's first heartbreak. Mama's shop thriving. Papa's pride when Sammy won a school art contest. But time brought change. Papa Henry grew older, his hair gray, his hands slower. One winter, he fell ill and didn't recover. The cottage grew quiet without his stories. Mama Clara and Sammy sat at Tilly, holding hands, their tears marking her wood. "He loved this table," Mama said. "It's like he's still here." Sammy, now 18, nodded. "I'll take care of Tilly, Mama, for Papa." Tilly felt heavy with grief, but strong with love. "I'm here for you, Sammy," she thought. Life moved on. Sammy went to college, studying art, while Mama Clara ran her shop. Tilly stayed in the kitchen, hosting Mama's tea with friends or Sammy's visits home. But without Papa's care, Tilly aged. Her legs wobbled, her surface scratched. Sammy, now a young man, was too busy to notice until one day, disaster struck. Chapter 6. Sammy's Big Mistake. Sammy, home for a visit at 25, decided to host a party for Mama Clara's birthday. He invited friends, piled Tilly with food cakes, sandwiches, lemonade, and cranked up music. "Let's dance," he shouted, his old mischief sparking. In a burst of fun, he jumped onto Tilly, arms waving. To Mama. Crack! Tilly's weakened leg snapped, her top splitting down the middle. Plates slid, lemonade spilled, and the party froze. Sammy stumbled off, staring at the damage. "Oh no," he whispered. "Tilly." Mama Clara rushed over, her face pale. "Sammy, how could you? This was your father's table." Sammy's shoulders slumped. "I'm so sorry, Mama. I wasn't thinking." Tilly felt broken, not just in wood but in heart. "Ouch, Sammy," she thought. "But I know you didn't mean it." Mama Clara sighed. "It's just a table, but it held so much. Can you fix it?" Sammy nodded, determined. "I'll try. Mama, for Papa." Chapter 7. Sammy's shaky start. Sammy carried Tilly to the shed, remembering Papa's lessons. But fixing a table was harder than he thought. He sanded her cracks, but left gouges. He glued her top, but it dried lumpy. He tried a new leg, but it wobbled like a newborn foal. When he set Tilly up, she looked, well, awful. Her surface was uneven, her legs mismatched, like a table drawn by a toddler. "Ugh, Tilly," Sammy groaned. "You look like a monster table." Tilly wanted to chuckle. "I'm a bit wonky, but I'm still me." Mama Clara peeked in, trying not to laugh. It's a start. Sammy, keep practicing. Your papa took years to get good. Sammy tried again, visiting the shed every weekend. He read books on woodworking, watched videos, and practiced on scraps. His hands blistered, his glue dripped, and once he hammered his thumb, yelping loud enough to scare the cat. But he kept going, talking to Tilly like Papa did. "We'll get there, girl," he said, sanding gently. Months passed, and Sammy's skills grew. He smoothed Tilly's top until it gleamed, carved a new leg to match the others, and polished her with oil. One day, he stepped back and grinned. "Tilly, you're beautiful, just like Papa made you." Mama Clara gasped when Tilly returned to the kitchen. "Sammy, it's perfect. Your father would be proud." Tilly's grain glowed. "Nice work, Sammy. You've got Papa's heart." Chapter 8. Tilly's new chapter. With Tilly restored, the cottage came alive again. Sammy, now a talented artist, moved back to Meadowville, opening a studio. He and Mama Clara hosted dinners at Tilly spaghetti nights, game nights, even a flower arranging party for Mama's shop. Tilly held new memories, Sammy's laughter with friends, Mama's joy at her roses winning a prize, and quiet moments when Sammy sketched at Tilly, whispering, "Thanks, Papa." Sammy never forgot his naughty days. He'd pat Tilly, saying, "Sorry for the dents, old girl. I was a wild one." But he'd learned to care for things and people with love. He taught kids at his studio to carve wood, telling them, "Mistakes happen, but you can fix them with effort." One spring, Sammy carved a tiny heart into Tilly's edge, near his old S, H initials. "That's for you, Papa," he said. "And you, Tilly, you held us together." Tilly felt warm, her wood full of stories, happy, sad, naughty, and kind. She'd gone from a tree to a table, from broken to beautiful, carrying the Harper's love through time. "I'm the luckiest table in Meadowville," she thought, ready for more meals, more laughter, more life. The lesson, Tilly's tale, teaches us that things we love like tables, families, or even ourselves can break, but with care, they can be mended. Sammy's mischief showed how carelessness hurts, but his hard work proved that mistakes can be fixed with effort and heart. Like Papa Henry and Sammy, we can learn to repair what's broken, making it stronger and more beautiful. Tilly reminds us to treat our world with kindness, to keep trying even when it's hard, and to cherish the memories, good and bad, that make us who we are. The end.